Guys, we are tearing down this house. Welcome back to Kyrocraft, episode 9. Why are we tearing this down, you might be asking? That is a very good question, my friends. I talked about in last episode, I think, maybe it was a couple episodes ago, that we had decided what type of build we're going to be doing, and it's going to be steampunk. Well, I've been hard at work trying to figure out a good design that looks pretty good, that I'm happy with, and this is kind of what I came up with. We've got a little bit of a dam here. We've got all this water coming down. We're going to have to control that a little bit. It's going to come over a water wheel here, and it'll flow down into this little catch area here. And I've marked out a couple areas here and here that our buildings are going to go in. And these circles here are going to be our stacks that get rid of our smoke that we're producing, or steam rather, that we're producing, that will go up pretty high. I'm thinking about as high as the mountains here. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, the structure that we built before is in the way, so it's all got to go. I'm tearing it down right now. So yeah, I'll catch you guys whenever I get this tore down. All right, now that that's done, one thing I really like about this is that it's half slabs, so we don't have to light everything up in the center and everything and have ugly torches everywhere. And because there's so many more half slab variants in 1.14, we can do that with most of the builds, so we don't have to worry about mob proofing as much. But now that we have that a little bit out of the way, I'll have to bring this design around. I want to show you guys this design, actually. Looks really cool from the front, I think. I've got a couple of... Let me just build a few blocks out so I'm not bobbing up and down. We got a couple of stair blocks, and then we go to a dark oak stair, upside down dark oak stair. And then we come out one block. You'll see that we have a upside down stair here, and one here, and then we come out a slab. I think it really ties everything together and makes it look a lot better than just a flat wall, kind of like that. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, because those are the stacks. I'm not sure if they need anything like that yet. But one thing I did mean to do was go ahead and down here, about right here, we're just going to break one block out. You'll never notice it, but now we can swim back up here, and we'll just leave that one broken out. That way we can always come back up. Very handy, very easy, but now what we want to do is go ahead and get this water under control, because as you can see here, we can't really bring our floor all the way back, and that's been bugging me just a tad. So I reckon what we're going to have to do, probably use some of the scaffolding, and I'm probably just going to go ahead and break those water sources there and build us out our water wheel, and then we'll just place it back wherever we need it to be. So one thing I really like about playing in 1.14 is that the scaffolding is absolutely wonderful to build with. I do feel like I need a tutorial of some sort to tell me how to use it sometimes, however, as the controls aren't exactly intuitive. Sorry about the camera angle of being a bit low here, but we decided to make a water wheel that is 15 blocks in diameter. Lucky that's a fairly easy circle to build, but how I always like to make these types of builds is to make a plus sign first, and then connect up the edges afterwards. That way if I mess 1/4 up, I'll know right away, since it won't line up with the other end of the plus sign. Oh, and I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I don't know how, so if anybody knows how to place scaffolding blocks straight out from the side while you're inside of a column, please let me know down in the comments. I decided to go with dark oak logs for the edges of the water wheel here. I think the pairing looks wonderful in this texture pack, especially with the normal oak down below for the flooring, and all the stone variants. You'll see whenever everything starts to come together, it really works great as a whole. Building circles vertical is kind of a challenge in survival, I found out. Luckily, I managed to find a rhythm here. That is until I got to the bottom of the circle. Luckily, it was kind of easy to use the scaffolding since I grabbed onto the edge of the cliff there. Although again, if I knew how to build out from the side of a column, it might have been a tiny bit easier regardless. Now that the circles are done, it's time to get the fins ready for the water wheel. We use dark oak half slabs and stairs for this. Now the structure is starting to look like an actual build instead of a mass of some weird shapes. We used iron blocks for the center to have a good solid looking structure to hold this massive wheel up, and we decided to put some inner rings around it because it just didn't feel as supported from a structural standpoint. This wheel won't just be hanging out in the air away from the mountain, so I decided we should make a dam above it. For all intents and purposes, there is a spring coming out of the top of this mountain that we're going to be harnessing for energy for our little steampunk hub here. We chose to use cobble as the lip of the structure and stone bricks for the rest of it to make it look a bit more solid and held together. This is where we are going to have the foundation built to control our water flow. So I blocked the holes I made in the wall with dark oak planks temporarily, that way I wouldn't break them with a pickaxe since we have haste 2 up, and placed down some normal ice here. It was my intention to get water sources from the ice, but it didn't work out that way for some reason. I could break them with my hand or with a normal pickaxe that didn't have silk touch, and it acted like glass. It would break and drop nothing, but it also wouldn't make a water source. So I'm not sure what they changed in 1.14, but it's kind of strange. So I had to go ahead and do torch spam around to get the ice to melt, and it took forever. Once all that was done, we removed our dark oak planks that blocked our water flow, and I had to manipulate the water just a little bit to get it to go where I wanted, but I think it looks awesome. Now that our water is flowing, we need a place to catch it and keep it from going anywhere. I struggled a bit to get a good camera angle here, but what we did is we dug this out a bit so we can make the structure look a bit more intentional. Afterwards, we placed a row of stone and tried to do the ice thing again, but gave up halfway through after the recording because the ice just wasn't melting for whatever reason. Well, guys, I'd say it's looking pretty spectacular so far. That was a lot of time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that time lapse. That is unfortunately all I'm going to have time for today. I think this is going to probably be the format for the next few episodes because I do want to get this place really built up. I've got quite a few resources. Anytime we need more stone, I have a ton of cobblestone. I just chunk it in our super smelter back there, and we're good to go. I haven't even had to refuel it once yet, so I guess our bamboo farm is keeping up, which is good news for sure. So yeah, we finished up our little ravine up there. Plans for tomorrow are to go ahead and lop off the top of this mountain here. We're going to make it basically a big dam. We're going to make an artificial spring that's up there, and we're going to be siphoning the water. That's where this water is going to be coming from. Yeah, we got this put down here. We might have some cool workings down below this platform. I haven't decided yet. And then, yeah, if we get that done in the next episode, we can also start work on these stacks and then maybe some bridges. And then at some point, we'll go ahead and build in a couple of buildings. I'm thinking about clearing this out a little bit farther back and then putting another building over in this area. So yeah, guys, if you like this episode, leave a comment, let me know. Or if you're too lazy to leave a comment, just hit a like button. That's a great way for me to know if you guys are actually enjoying the content or not. So yeah, see you guys on the next one. Peace.